We are ready.
Are we ready? Is everybody ready? David is. He's got his name on my screen here, so David, you good back there. Okay, we're going to call this meeting together. It's 9:02, and we're going to go in closed session first, but Regina, would you read off the items in closed session, please?
Happy to do so, Chair. On your agenda for closed session are two items. One's under Government Code Section 54957.6. That's conference with your labor negotiators. Your designated representatives are your Deputy CAO, Joel Begay, and the Human Resources Manager, Susan Carter. The employee organization is all units. There's also one case under Government Code Section 54956.9. That's conference with your legal counsel. That's me. And anticipated litigation, there's some significant exposure pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of the section I read off. Thank you.
Okay, any comments on closed session items? Any online? No?
There are
Okay,
none online.
is there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
No additions? Okay. Well, let's break and go into closed session. Closey session.
We are ready.
Yeah, I'm doing something here.
Before we start, any school nurses that are here for today's presentation, can you please stand up?
Any of the nurses?
You got it?
We don't have any?
We're going to do the presentation, but we've got a plan B.
Plan B's next.
Please stand. Please sit down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. We're ready to get this meeting going. Regina, we got any reportable actions out of the closed session?
Chairman, there are no reportable actions from your closed session. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to open and close, and people with memories, has anybody got any besides me? Seeing none? Who said something? Oh. Well, one of my best friends passed away Sunday, Bryce Shears from Oakhurst. I met him about 17 years ago. Lonnie Brannon, who I went to high school with, owned Oakhurst Tire in Oakhurst, and he says, "Hey, Tom, if you're going to run for supervisor, you need this guy on your side." And he's one of the smartest guys I've ever met, and a memory like a dictionary, and he could construct or design anything you wanted to, weld it, build it, whatever. And he got colon cancer about the same time I did, and he passed away Sunday. So he was, I just can't tell you about this guy, and great person. And then the sheriff's, a couple of our meetings ago, Michael King, the Mariposa deputy, somebody brought that up about him, and I didn't put two and two together until I read his obituary. He grew up in North Fork, and his mom still lives. His dad passed away. In fact, if you go out in the forum out there, that big map of Madera County in 1914, he used to be a janitor here at the old government building, and his dad. And when I got elected, he said, "Tom, I got something for you. I want you to put in your office." Well, I had it in my office for a long time, but I felt it should be out here in the forum. So if you guys want to see a hand painted, it's about 4x4 or 5x5. It's in plexiglass, hand painted map of Madera County from 1914. And it's got all the people's names that were in Madera County at that time. There wasn't very many. So it's a great map, and it'll be there forever in his honor. But I didn't realize that this was his son that passed away. He was only 48 years old. He, great deputy, great kid. He had a brother, and his mom, Meg, still lives in Coarse Gold. And I see her all the time, but I want to honor him for this, open and close this meeting also. Anybody else?
Agnes LaQuashi, just wanted to keep the LaQuashi family in our prayers. And then also, not in memory of, but kind of in honor and just for kind of a request for prayers for Jerry Fernandez, who is a fire captain in Madera, through the time needs a double lung transplant, and he was moved to Stanford until he can get that. So he's one of the best people I've ever met in my life, and godfather to my kids, and so just keep him in your thoughts, and if you know him, send a text to him. If he sends it back, just say, or doesn't text back, just say, whatever, dude. He'll know what that means. That's what he tells me every time I don't text him back within like 2 minutes. But
That's almost like Bryce. He texts me every day, even Friday. He texts me that morning, just one word of what he said. Rough, I think he said. So anyway, thank you. We haven't got a pastor here today, so Rob, would you do the
Sure.
invocation? And Dennis Hart, would you lead the flag salute for us?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll do this first. Yeah, you can go with him.
All right, there we go. Okay, let us pray. Father, we're thankful for just this beautiful day you've given us and the opportunity to serve you. We thank you for everyone in this room, for the very special role that they play in the service of the people of Madera County. We pray a special prayer for our friend Jerry, who is in Stanford, awaiting the transplant. We just ask that your will be done, give him comfort, provide just the emotional support and whatever encouragement we could bring at this time. Guide our decision-making today. We thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Dennis. A couple, 3-4 months ago, Dennis called me and said that his parents knew Judge Putney up in North Fork and wanted to know if I knew her. And when I was a kid, I knew her, but she passed away a long time ago. So we actually had a courthouse in North Fork in those days. And when we moved from Oakhurst to North Fork in 1958, there were more people in North Fork than Oakhurst. And so Dennis called me, and he, as a little kid, knew Judge Putney. And so if you look on your thing, you've got a thing there. He wrote this all up about it, so he's going to do public comment here first. So come on up, Dennis. And thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Wheeler, and thank you, Board of Supervisors. My name is Dennis Hart. My wife and I live at 728 Arrowhead Drive in Tesoro Viejo. We are newcomers to Madera County, and we love being here. And so thank you for inviting me up, and thank you, Supervisor Wheeler, for all of your support for this report. What you have in front of you is research that I've done into the lives of two really important people in North Fork and Madera County. From 1938 until 1956, George and Marcia Putney were what you would call a power couple in North Fork before that term was ever invented. They were truly involved in an amazing number of activities up there, and too few people know who they were and what they did. For starters, this body appointed Marcia Putney to be the first female judge of Madera County in 1945. It took more than 50 years for there to be a female judge, and she was in the 5th District Township in North Fork. She remained there for 20 years until she retired, handling thousands of cases up there. But she was far more than a judge. She founded the North Fork Women's Club. She came up with the idea for the Madera County Historical Society, came up with the idea for using the courthouse as the home of the Madera County Historic Society. It took 17 years after she came up with that idea for it to become reality. She was an accomplished writer and historian, wrote many articles for the Madera newspapers. She had a column for a couple of years about North Fork news. She was an accomplished artist, and she displayed her work all around North Fork and the Valley. George worked for the Forest Service, and he was an accomplished master builder. He worked on the North Fork Union School and almost single-handedly, in one day, built the first volunteer fire department building up in North Fork, 5 months before he passed away. It was an amazing accomplishment. He was a member of numerous groups up there, conservation groups. He was always in the news for his sportsman's activities. They got married in 1938. George passed away in 1956, and Marcia passed away in 1965. So between 1938 and 1965, George and Marcia appeared in the Madera newspapers either together or singly 750 times. It was unbelievable. They were always there because they were always doing things. They lived on those 87 acres off Malham Ridge Road overlooking Manzanita Lake that became known as Putney Ranch. After she passed away in 1965, Marcia continued making news, as many of you know, because she willed that land in Madera County. She gave it to the county so that it could be used as a camp for developmentally disabled children. And she did that because George had had a developmentally disabled child in his first marriage. That camp, that land was used as a camp for developmentally disabled children for more than 20 years until the company, the organization that ran it, ran out of state money. And then Sheriff John Anderson, as you know, rehabilitated that land for use as a training site for sheriff's deputies. And it was used that way for many years. And then in 2013, the county put that land up for auction, and it was bought by a religious group in Southern California, which continues to this day to run camps for kids, and they will do so again this summer, after taking a couple of years off because of the coronavirus pandemic. So you can see the Putney legacy lives on to this moment in Madera County. It's an important legacy. A lot of people in North Fork know who she was and know who he was. But nobody knows where they came from. Nobody knows what they did before they got there. And when I did my research, I found just fascinating stories. This, I think, is eminently readable for you as well as an historic document. You'll not only get a chronology of what they did and when from the pages of the newspaper, from the very earliest days to the very latest, but you'll find out just how many things they were involved with up there. And it's remarkable. Now, my interest in this is purely personal, I have to tell you. My parents knew the Putneys because my parents moved up there in North Fork in 1935 after they got married in Fresno. They were very, very young, and I have a picture of them in front of the general store that they were running up there in North Fork. They got to know George and Marcia before George and Marcia were married, because they were married to other people before they got together. They remained friends for the rest of Marcia's life and George's life. I don't know how they got together. I never asked that question because, you know, young kids are too stupid to ask their parents where they came from or what they did until it's too late. And that was the same with me. So my interest is, I remember going up to the ranch. I remember my parents taking me up there. After a snowstorm, we built a snowman. And it was hot one summer day. We went up there. My dad put me on his shoulders. And if you're familiar with the ranch at all, the cabin overlooks a little hill that goes down to the lake. Supervisor Wheeler, you know this.
Yeah.
My dad put me on his shoulders and walked me down to Manzanita Lake.
Threw you in?
Pardon
Did
me?
he throw you in?
No, but he took me. He probably wanted to. I was 5 or 6. You know how you are when you're 5 or 6. But I remember he took us onto the dam. So I walked down there a couple of weeks ago. I got a tour of the ranch. I was allowed to go up there again by the new owners and walk down there again. And there's a doggone lock. PG&E just doesn't want people to drown. And so they put a lock. You can't get on the dam anymore. But it's very personal to me. And when I started doing the research, I realized not only were they important people, nobody knew that they were in the papers for 750 times. I mean, I looked at every article. It's remarkable. But the people of North Fork need to know who George and Marcia were and the impact they've had on this county. So I hope this helps all of us understand. I hope this goes into a public record where people can down the road say, wow, they lived up there in that small town and had a giant impact to this moment. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my parents knowing them. After I leave you, I'm delivering this to the Historical Society and to the library, and then I'll go up to North Fork this weekend and deliver it up there. So I hope everybody has a chance to know about the legacy of George and Marcia Putney. And I truly want to thank you folks for giving me a few minutes here to talk about them. They were important to my family, but more importantly, they were really important in the life of this county to this very moment where that land is still being used as a camp for kids during the summer. Thank you so very, very much for your time.
Thank you, too. And this will be at the library, so you guys can, everybody that wants to read about it. We're lucky he gave us a copy of it, so I can't wait to read it. So I love old history, so thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you. It's really neat. Okay, now, open public comments.
Good morning, Board. Hector Madrigal, Commander for Madera CHP. Good morning, public. I'm here to introduce my partner, my new partner from up the hill, and I'll let him introduce himself to the Board. This is Lieutenant Albanese, Chris Albanese. So here he is.
Good morning. Good morning. I just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce myself. My name's Christopher Albanese. I'm the interim commander up in the Oakhurst area. I started on May 1st, so I thought this opportunity would be fantastic to come down, put a face with some very important names in Madera County. I was born and raised the majority of my life in Madera. We did travel around quite a bit. My dad was a pump salesman, so we ended up in Paso Robles and Visalia, and currently down in Tulare County, but we'll kind of see. It'd be really awesome to get back up to Madera County, but it's been an honor to get up here, to meet the community. The short time I've been there, it's just a fantastic community. We did a community event last night, and I just can't speak enough to the people that are there. It's great. I'm really looking forward to continuing on and providing my best and giving everything I can to serve and support Madera County. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chris. I got a silver Chevy pickup, so if you see it going a little bit faster, you know, kind of just say, oh, that must be Tom Wheeler.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. And I'll get Bobby McCauley, my chief staff, get hold of you, and our next town hall will be in June. We'll get you there and introduce you to all the people.
Fantastic,
That's
sir.
really cool. And all the CHP lieutenants have always come to them for the last 15 years, so.
I'd be honored, sir.
And I don't know if you remember, but I remember us all hanging out at Chris Allen's house when you went to John Adams?
Correct.
Yeah. So we were friends before you moved away. Yeah. Like first, second grade. Yeah.
He drives a white, whatever that thing is.
But it's great to see you back here. I heard the name and I was like, I know him. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very nice to see you again.
Yeah. Welcome home.
Welcome
Thank
home
you.
and welcome.
That
Thank you.
Hope that Frazier kid didn't pick on him.
Trust me, I grew up with red hair. I was the one that got picked on.
Had longer, then they'd pull him around. Okay, any other public comment? We had the good ones now. Okay, we're going to move.
Chairman,
Huh?
I just want to make you aware that yesterday we received public comment via email from John P. Kingsley via Wagner Jones Helsley,
Okay.
and it will be submitted to the record and available at the Board of Supervisors office.
Thank you.
That's perfect. If they don't show up, they don't get to talk, right? Then just put it in the record. Okay, we're going to move to number 5, consent calendar. We're going to pull item P, like in Paul. And has anybody got any other items that they want to talk about? Seeing none, any public comment on the consent calendar?
I move to approve.
Second?
Okay, roll call, please.
Chair, can I clarify that that motion was to include the pulling of item P?
Yes.
P, yeah.
Move to approve with item P being removed. Thanks.
Okay, roll call then.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay, we got a lot of proclamations today. So the first one we're going to do is, first I'm going to get my agenda open. And the first one is 6D, Ms. Sarah Boss.
6D, Healthcare Workers Proclamation.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Got a funny for us?
Yes.
We already had a couple, we need some more. And I welcomed C.C. Massetti, our superintendent of schools also, so she's got her nurses from her schools too. So
Yes.
thank all of you.
So May 6th through May 12th is National Nurses Week, and we are wanting to recognize the compassionate care to all of our community of our nurses across Madera County. During May of each year since 1998, the country has been celebrating National Nurses Week, and tomorrow is actual National School Nurses Day. And so we want to just pause and recognize the work of our nurses in the last 2 years. Certainly in the Department of Public Health, all of our nurses stepped forward with regards to being involved with the COVID-19 response, many of them while maintaining their duties in their primary programs until we were able to bring contracted staff on board. And right now, they are in a training for shelter care, preparing for other disasters that might happen and their role in responding through providing health care at shelters during fire season and other events that happen. And so that's why they're not able to be here today, but they're watching via video. And I just feel like that's really representative of our nurses. They keep working. And even when we take a pause to honor them, which we did this morning and served them breakfast, they're still doing work and preparing for what the next season might be. And so we just want to pause and honor them with this proclamation. I'll read just a bit of it. Whereas nurses throughout Madera County are frontline providers of health and wellness across multiple settings and work as trusted advocates for patients in our community, and nurses ensure that everyone is treated with dignity, respect, and professional expertise. And whereas throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, nurses have played a critical role in ensuring health and well-being of Maderans through providing high quality and personalized care and support with other healthcare providers while also preventing the spread of the virus. And whereas nurses in Madera County provide compassionate care to all, embodying the principles of ethical practice in their work, both before and during the pandemic, nurses have contributed to public health by providing education, preventative health screenings, interventions, and supports in clinics, schools, hospitals, and the community at large. And we just want to recognize them, honor them during this National Public Health Week and, National Nurses Week. Yeah. Public health just rolls off the tongue. And invite our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Cece Musetti, to say a few words.
Thank you, Sarah. Chairman Wheeler, members of the Board of Supervisors, and community members, we are just thrilled to be honoring school nurses today. We've had a wonderful partnership this last 2 years with the Department of Public Health, and I think all of our agencies, with mental health services and the Sheriff's Office and Department of Social Services, we've provided services to foster youth and all children who've been in need, families. And our nurses, they were the front line. And, every Wednesday we've had a call with Dr. Paul and Sarah to kind of bring the schools up to date and what is it that we need to do. And when I think about our nurses, they not only had to deal with is the school safe? Do we have all of the protocols in place? The rules are changing. So when I think of nurses, I think they navigated so many changing rules every day at the school site, and parents and families were frustrated because they didn't know what was going on. And the nurses were there to be calm. They were there to, deal with this unusual situation and provide services for families and care. And I think they're just exceptional individuals, and I thank you for honoring them today. So thank you for the partnership with the schools and being there to support all of our community. So on behalf of the nurses, I am happy to accept this proclamation, unless we have one who has entered since we chatted earlier. All right, my pleasure to do this then.
Okay. While you're here, I think you ought to help us. Joseph, did you have a birthday lately? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joseph. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, and I had, as a husband to a nurse and watching, especially during the pandemic, and you never really realize how much work is put in until they come home and let you know just how much work is in there. Watching her go back when when no one knew what was happening. There was so much uncertainty, no PPE, and still they just charged in, like run into a burning building and, just to still care for their patients. And I was already in awe of her, and then to watch that and all of her friends doing the same thing, knowing that, like at home, being able to, where she shared just how uncertain it was to do that and still wake up with no adrenaline and drive there and do that. It should be more than just a week for nurses now that I know just how hard it is. But then also to the school nurses, they had to navigate that and with parents that, and I always said that the only thing why I wouldn't want to be on a school board is because if you don't fix a pothole, people are mad at you. But if there's something with their kids, they hate you, right? And for them to stand there while caring for the safety of the entire school, and in many cases, in a lot of our smaller districts, there's one nurse for the multiple different school sites, and they're having to educate. They're having to still fix boo-boos, deal with very, very confusing edicts coming down that change every single day. And we're just so thankful for what they, and I know I've worked with our school nurses at Golden Valley, and Karen Higginbotham just did a fantastic job to keep that all together. And so just wanted to say thank you to them as well.
Thank you. Let's go down and do a quick snapshot. Nurses, come on up. We'll get all lined up here. Item 6A.
Item 6A, presentation of proclamation proclaiming May 2022 as Mental Health Month.
Thank you, Connie.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. Anybody who's bilingual in the audience, Connie Moreno-Peraza, your Director of Behavioral Health Services. I am very, very honored, Supervisor, Chairman Wheeler, and members of the board. I just want to say just a few words, and then I want to turn it over quickly to our team. We have, come on, our partners.
Yeah.
We have a lot of partners, but again, as you present this proclamation celebrating mental health, May as Mental Health Month, we are very, very happy with the theme this year, Take Action for Mental Health. Our team is amazing. There's only 2 or 3 of them, but they act like 100. They're out there teaching, doing classes, meeting with people. They're everywhere, Oakhurst, Chowchilla, everywhere. So I want to thank publicly Sylvia Romero and Marisela Chercos, and I think Griselda's also here, and others. I really want to thank them because they're the ones doing all this great work. Julie, who's here, our Assistant Director, Julie Morgan, amazing, amazing team. Every day, there isn't one place where I go, grocery store, washing the car, somebody's talking about mental health. And I like the people that are talking about mental health, but now we want you to take action. We want you to call us. We have our centralized access line, 559-673-3508. We've been very busy passing out laminated cards, passing out brochures so people can find us. We're in Oakers, Chowchilla, and in Madera. We really want you to find us. With mental health, we just had some great activities. Last Friday, we had a great mental health conference thanks to our team. But Supervisor Gonzalez did an amazing job as our keynote. Thank you, Supervisor Gonzalez. You were amazing, amazing.
She is amazing.
She thought she was not going to talk for 45 minutes, but we could have had her there for an hour or more. It was her story and her vulnerability. I admire you even more. So thank you so much. The pandemic, we talk about the pandemic over and over again. The damage, the impacts is done. Our children are suffering, our parents are suffering, our families are getting divorced, people are losing jobs, losing loved ones, and it's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. So we are here to help, and if we can't help you, we'll connect you with our partner, Camarena, or anywhere else, our social services partners. Every department here has someone or knows someone who's suffering from mental health or addiction. So I want to tell you that it's very important for us to self-care, right? We got to take care of ourselves, take care of our loved ones, and talk about mental health. That is so, so important. There's a lot of stigma, but once you start talking about it, it kind of normalizes it, makes it comfortable. We all have some sort of mental health, right? Trauma, or
I
we
do.
have depression, anxiety. I can talk to you right after this. No, just kidding. I'm available 24/7. I work for you. I'm here to serve, and our staff are also here to serve. I'm very excited. We're going to be expanding our crisis response services throughout the county. We're going to be starting that planning very soon, so the folks, when they call, we can give them help. It takes a lot of courage for people to call us, for people to come into our clinics. We want to be there. So with that, I would like to have our staff just say a few words on the proclamation. And again, mental health is health. It's a health condition that is treatable, right? Just like anything else. So please call us.
Yeah, Connie does a great job. I can't tell you how many times I've called her evenings, weekends and stuff, and I have a person call about their family members or a friend, and she's 99% takes care of them. It's just a pleasure.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you, Director Connie, and distinguished board members and community. My name is Sylvia Romero. I'm a health education coordinator with Madera County Behavioral Health, and I'd like to read a little bit of our May is Mental Health Matters Month proclamation. So this measure would recognize May 2022 as Mental Health Matters Month in the County of Madera to enhance public awareness of mental health and dispel the stigma surrounding it. This year's theme is Take Action for Mental Health. Whereas mental health challenges are one of the most common health conditions in California, affecting 1 out of 5 adults, impacting both the person experiencing mental health challenges and those persons who care and love the person facing these challenges. And whereas every day millions of people face stigma related to mental health and may feel isolated and alone, going years without receiving any help. And whereas recovery can and does happen. And all Madera County residents should know that support and help is available, regardless of any individual situation, by calling the Behavioral Health Services Centralized Access Line at 559-673-3508. And whereas creating a community where everyone feels comfortable reaching out for the support they deserve is crucial to ending the stigma around mental health. And therefore, we hereby proclaim May 2022 as Mental Health Month here in Madera County. And also, I'd like to add that us at Behavioral Health, in addition to all the services that we provide, we partner with a lot of wonderful community agencies that are here today. And we have a lot of different events planned for this month. And to speak on that, I'd like to introduce my coworker, Marisela.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, board. It's great to be here with you guys this morning. My name is Marisela Terkelson, and I am also one of the health education coordinators here for Madera County Behavioral Health. I did want to let you know a little bit about what we had going on here in Madera County for Mental Health Awareness Month. But first of all, I wanted to say that all of these things couldn't have been possible without the help and support of our community organizations. This really is a community action that took place. There's so many different organizations, Camarena Health, Madera Unified School Districts, members of our sheriffs, of our hospitals really put a foot in and be involved in part of Mental Health Month because they know the importance of it is to keep our community mentally well. So a couple of things that we have going on. I don't know if you had a chance to see our wonderful banner over Yosemite Street. So that's one of our things we use to build awareness, but also with that we collaborated we tried to collaborate it countywide, where we all had that same theme. So Madera Unified School Districts had all of their school sites put on a very similar banner to bring that awareness and make that connections. With that, we also have what we call here in Madera County, Madera Together for Suicide Awareness. And it's a collaborative that we have here of different organizations that really come together to bring mental health awareness and suicide prevention here in the county. So they also collaborative to kind of keep that theme going. And I know you have some outside your building, but it's throughout the county. We made some yard signs that say, you know, because you matter, we are here. And it has a QR code for helpful resources. So that's what we did for our community awareness event here in the county. And also what we did is up at Chachansey, we did provide a suicide awareness training to our community members up there. We had the huge event that Leticia was in, which was our virtual mental health resource fair. And also after the event, we had a resource fair at Matilda Torres to bring the community together. And I don't have the count officially yet, but we had a really, really good turnout. The tacos were a really big attraction for people. And we had some raffles, but really it was bringing organizations together to bring that awareness to our kids and our students for Mental Health Month. And that was just that first week of May. So what we have going on for the rest of the week is our focus is really going to be on the schools, our middle schools and high schools. So as a team, Kingsview Skills for Success, which is one of our partners agency, Camarena Health Centers, and Madera County Behavioral Health are going to reach out to our middle schools and high schools to do lunchtime activity events with the students to bring mental health awareness to the kids, but to really bring that message that mental health matters and to take action. And if you feel like something is happening, to talk to somebody about what's going on. So we're going to 15 schools in our county. A lot of them here are for Madera Unified School Districts, but we're also going to be up at Oak Intermediate School, Wasuma, and Yosemite High School for this year. So I'm excited to kind of be able to go out there, and we're going to have a little more specialized training for those kids up there. And hopefully, you know, we have a really great event for our kids. We have something special that was done by one of our community partners, Kingsview Skills for Success. Their students did a video as part of a statewide video contest, and I'm going to pass it over to Maida. She's the one that helps lead those students with the video, so she can talk a little bit, and I think we're going to get to see the video also.
Thank you. Come on up. Don't be bashful.
So, good morning. My name is Mayra Alvarez. I'm a mental health specialist with Kingsview Skills for Success. These are three of our students. We have Daisy Tamayo, Dalia Uribe, and Kaylee Romero, and they were part of putting together videos for our Directing Change competition. And so it's a statewide competition judged in videos by regions. And this last Saturday, we had an event through funding from Directing Change that was a wellness event. So we did a wellness luau and had different tables with stations for wellness tools for students to use. One of the main things is, you know, getting students back integrated into school and socializing with, you know, all the fears of, do we get COVID, or, you know, somebody coughing, learning how to say, you know, bless you instead of, do you have COVID?
That's a new thing.
You know, it makes a difference. It made a difference for our students, and so putting together these videos is just that awareness. One of the biggest things that, you know, we were talking about was, you know, Leticia being on the board. I've known her since I was little. But the thing is, you know, looking as young women, you know, and taking care of our health and taking care of our mental health, and knowing that we can be in different positions and we can have different vocations as young women, and that is part of our mental health. And so we do have the video to show. I just
show it.
I think it's locked out.
That looks like Bass Lake.
Oh, there it is.
Let's talk about suicide prevention. Have you noticed anybody talking about suicide or making plans? Or expressing hopelessness for the future.
Have you noticed any changes in your sleep or in your friends?
Or showing emotional pain or distress. Showing a difference in their behavior. Know the signs, find the words, reach out.
Woo, good. We got movie stars here. Yeah, we need to get autographs. Thank you.
That's just one of the projects that we do. And so we do prevention, early intervention in the high schools. And so we're excited, and we hope to bring more activities like this to Madera County.
We would love to see them.
Thank you.
This goes on a permanent record, it's in records from now on. So
Somebody does the research.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ensconced in history.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you so much for always supporting us. We want a healthy community, partner with public health, social services, everybody, because I think health is a health equity. All of us need it. So we do have a little gift for you. We're just going to go around, and our staff's going to give you a
We're
little
going to
gift.
come down and get a picture of all of you.
We'll do a
So
photo.
come on
Thank
down.
you. Thank you very much.
Got other comments here.
Oh, you got more comments?
No, look at right here.
On the Supervisor Frazier.
Oh, I'm sorry, geez. Supervisor Frazier, thank you so much.
This was for the last one, but then when this came up, so Connie, I just want to thank you for everything you're doing for the community and actually making it accessible, and everything that your team is doing to make mental health accessible and the resources that people need accessible, turnaround times quick. We'll still keep working on that paperwork that the state makes us do.
It's going to get better effective
yeah.
July 1st.
Thank you. Having gone through it, and seeing where my daughter's at now after getting those services, it obviously means the world to families and different people that need it. And so I mean, I know that there used to be a stigma, like 6-7 years ago, I'd gone to my doctor just to talk about, feeling like anxiety and some ADHD. And I remember him saying, oh, you don't really want that to get out, or for like in your position, you don't want people to know that. And
You're
I remember,
kidding me.
yeah, I remember just thinking, that like it didn't, luckily I didn't listen to him and kept moving forward. Yeah, but that's what it was, and that's just 6 to 7 years ago, and that you're supposed to be able to deal with that, like, toughen up and deal with that, and thank you for continuing to put this at the forefront and create that awareness that you don't need to just toughen up and don't worry about it. If the other doctor I went to said, if you had a problem with your kidneys and you needed to take something because of the chemical imbalance there, what's the difference with your head? So again, just thank you for what you all are doing.
Okay.
It matters.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to echo those sentiments and thank Connie when she first approached me, and because we meet monthly, and asked if I would participate in the conference. I thought I was just going to do a welcome and hello, and it was going to be very simple. And then when I see the agenda and I'm the keynote and it says 45 minutes, I said, what the heck am I going to talk about for 45 minutes? But I thank you for and Carla for putting me outside of my comfort zone, because it is important to talk about, and like Brett was saying, even though whether you're an elected official or you have you're a mom at home, you're whatever it is that you do, mental health doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation, your education level, your income level, anything. It affects all of us, and so thank you for letting me share my story and sharing my anxiety.
You inspired a lot of people that day, and I'm sure every day. I want to thank you.
So, and it's just really exciting to see. It's been fun working with Sylvia and Marisela. I see them at every event. And I shared this at the beginning of the presentation, that one of the first decisions that one of the first real important decisions that I got to make as a sitting supervisor was the hiring of Connie. And it's not only
Great hire.
great that you've energized the department, but I really think that you've put a jolt, you've electrified it. So it's really wonderful to see what you're doing out there for our community. So thank you very much to every one of you.
Thank you. And actually, our staff, Julie and all these folks, they're the ones that help me. So I really want to always thank them publicly for all the great work they do.
Absolutely.
They stay with me. They get here early. They stay late sometimes. So I want to thank them because they really have the passion. We have the passion, and we're going to help in any way we can.
Thank you.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes, to deny our hurts and habits is to deny our humanness, and we all have those, and we need healing at another age. So I've given a lot of thought to some things concerning mental health on a statewide level, and I had an idea that I'd like for you maybe to pursue or pass along, because I know you have connections statewide, and that's one of the things I really admire about you, that you've developed those relationships outside as well as locally here. But you know, we have emergency lines for everything under the sun that's accessible, 911, and yet it seems to me that the numbers that you would dial for mental health issues are something you have to memorize or go find somewhere or what have you. Why not make it simple, like SOS, 757, SOS, and make it a statewide thing, and where you could dial one number like that and get help immediately. SOS. Pretty easy.
I got great news for you. We're starting 988, July 1st. In California. It is active now nationwide.
I did not know that.
Yes, so 988
So
begins
somebody-
in California, July 1st. We're gearing up, we're planning for that. No funding yet, but we're trying to fight for it. You know, to us, to me, it's like a given. We need to do it. So people are gonna call, we foresee, where's my sheriff partners? We foresee that people are gonna dial 911. So I'm gonna explore with my partners, see if I can collocate a clinician to the call center, and if the call's coming for 988, because people probably will continue doing, I think, 911, but 988 is a national number for the
did not
same
know
reasons
that.
you said that.
That's good to
The
know.
same, there was a legislation passed, so we're working on the details of the funding and infrastructure with MHSA, Mental Health Services Act, and other funding, but there you go. That's my gift to you today.
Thank you.
988.
I'm glad somebody beat me to it.
They read your mind.
Well, at least I'm thinking, you know.
They read your mind. They read your
Go
mind.
down there and get a picture.
So, thank you so much. Thank you.
Just go that way a little bit further.
That would be Z-U-U. Stack this all up in one spot.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 8.
988. I forgot to ask, is there any public comment on item 6A or 6D? Any online? None? Okay. Now we go to 6B.
Public hearing at 10:30.
Huh?
Public hearings?
Public hearings at
they can
10:30.
wait.
Okay.
I'll get these done. 6B.
Presentation of a proclamation recognizing Supervised Visitation Awareness Month.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Board Chair. Thank you for having me. My name is Lisa Parker. I am from Native Solutions Family Guidance Center. I am here today to ask for a proclamation regarding Supervised Visitation Awareness Month. I opened up a center. I was a founder of our 501(c)(3) in Oakhurst. I spoke to Mr. Wheeler early on about our need for that center in Oakhurst. I also have a center located in Mariposa that we had opened right during the pandemic. We opened our doors up. So I was approached by Mr. Wheeler and Mr. McCauley, and they said, we need one of these over here in Oakhurst. I was a former tribal administration, worked in tribal administration for many, many moons. And as a grant writer, I felt the need to kind of step out of that role and try to find something that was more of my passion. And with that, it was our child welfare system. I did a needs assessment early on and found that there was no centers up in the rural area for our children and our families to visit in a safe, unbiased, safe location where they felt welcomed and non-judged for whatever reason that they were doing coming in their doors. So when I opened up my doors, I thought, oh, wow, I'm going to have this wonderful little center and a slide and some toys and some color crayons, and it was far from that. We found out early that we were played a significant role in those families' lives. When they're detained, their children are detained, there's a case management that's set up for them. We play that role in that case management. We help with transportation, we help with drug screening, we do a one-stop shop there, but we also go out of our realm and do off-site visits with the children to make it more inclusive so the children feel welcomed and the families feel more at a family parental stage in their life. This is just a stepping stone for them. So we do off-site visits. We go grocery shopping with them. We take them to the zoo. Our monitors are wonderful in being able to make sure that that happens in a safe environment for the children. Not all visits are friendly. Some parents are angry when they walk in the doors, and they're upset that their children have been removed for whatever reasons. So we have to quickly take that visitation and gain their trust that we're here for them and we're here to help them reunify for whatever reasons those are. So I drew up a mission right away, and I said my mission for Native Solutions Family Guidance Center was to provide a safe and neutral professional environment to allow children to maintain an ongoing relationship with both parents. And then our objective was also to strengthen the family's foundation. So I've ran with that.
That's perfect.
And it overall kind of meets all of the needs of my agency. And that agency is strengthening those families' foundations with parenting classes, if they need batterers intervention, if they need a child abuse endangerment course, they can come to our agency. The Norfolk Mono tribe has also kind of partnered with us, so they are moving into my Oakhurst location. We've outgrew our office, so we're moving on to a larger office now.
Great.
We were able, after Tom Wheeler, I met with Mr. Wheeler, Supervisor Wheeler, he kind of shrugged us on to the county, and I was able to partner with.
Yeah, we called Connie that day, remember?
Yes.
Deborah, I'm sorry. Gosh,
yeah, he set us up right
Sorry,
away
Deborah.
with Dr. Morris and Deborah, and they were right away, came up, and we sat down and met in the visitation
out.
center in those little kid chairs. And I said, this is my vision, this is what I want to do for the community, and it's been successful ever since. So I'm here today. Supervised visitation's been around for a long time. Primarily, they used to be where a family did it, you know, but unfortunately, family can be biased, they can be angry, and it kind of takes this from the family's situation to somebody who can, you know,
Need a
really look
referee
out for
in
the
between.
safety of those children. Absolutely, kind of mediate that whole situation. So it is Native Solutions Family Guidance Center, and everybody always asks me, Lisa, is it just for the Native population? Absolutely not. We've opened those doors to each and everybody. Do I side with the Native population? Yes, I have Southern Sierra Miwok children. I also have nieces that are enrolled with the Nez Perce tribe, and I'm just excited to have them on board. So with that, I'm going to step out and let Deborah tell you a little bit about our collaboration.
Thank you, Deborah, for answering the phone that day and
No
moving forward with this. I mean, I was so excited talking to her that day because all the years she worked down there at Chanson and had that in Mariposa, and she wanted to put an office up there. I mean, what can you ask for?
Absolutely. So I'm Deborah Martinez, the Director of Social Services, and I very much appreciated that call, Chairman Wheeler. We did meet at a site visit. I did feel all her passion. I saw the site, and I thought, you know, we absolutely have a need here. Really appreciated the fact that not only was she doing or able to do the actual visitation and transportation, she also did some of our other alcohol and urine test things that we needed up there that made it easier for our folks, our families and our adults and parents who needed to have the testing in order to be able to reunite with their children to show progress. It's a very, very important function. I want to stress that the reason why we're having supervised visits is that's the only way that the judge in terms of our case plan was able to make sure that there's a connection between children and their parents, so eventually hopefully be able to return them. So they have to show that they are making those meaningful connections with their families and learning from what they are gathering from parenting classes, and then showing during this visitation how you should properly address the children in terms of discipline, training, and instruction overall. So that's really about supervised visitation. It's not simply watching them play. It's actually watching how they're interacting. What's that tone? Are they learning? So it's a very important function. So we actually, in our own DSS offices, and also we do transport, we have over 200 visits. And so Lisa brought her staff that you'll be meeting just now, and I also brought a couple of our representatives from DSS that are also doing those functions here in our offices. Okay? So here we go with, let's go ahead with Native Solutions.
Absolutely. I have my supervised monitor, Rachel Foster. She primarily does the visits up in the Oakhurst area, so she travels a lot. She goes to Auberry to pick up parents, brings them back to Norfolk, goes back to Auberry. I mean, we travel, we do a lot of traveling, so I'm just honored to have her as a part of my staff. She learned really quickly how to write exceptional reports. One of our functions through supervised visitation also is letting the parents be parents. We're not there to be your parent. So we really went on a really needed training, and Rachel just took on that training right away because we redirect parents. We take them aside and say, hey, it'd probably be better if you could use this, or hey, what about trying this? So we're more about redirecting those parents and allowing them to be a parent during these supervised visitations, and Rachel's been wonderful to do that. So thank you, Rachel. I was honored to have my niece come down. She's an enrolled tribal member with the Nez Perce tribe. Her father's an enrolled member with the Southern Sierra Miwok tribe, who's non-federally recognized. So she came on board, and she's jumped on board and done a lot of administrative duties, have gotten her certificate for training. So we're excited to have her on board. She started monitoring, and right away, the kids just love her. She worked with the child care center up in her Nez Perce tribe, so the kids are just flourished with her training and all that wonderful stuff. So I'm excited to have them. I have a wonderful staff. I just recently lost my son to CAL FIRE. He's like, Mom, I'd rather go fight a line of fire right now than do your job at a supervised visitation. He loved what he did, but sometimes dealing with families is not easy. It's not easy being that advocate for those children when the parents are struggling. So I'm honored also to be doing this through Mental Health Awareness Month, because we utilize our partners and our community partners tremendously. Anytime our families need help, we're right there to give them those referrals and get them to the appropriate people who can help them. So I'm excited to have my staff and Deborah's staff here with me today. But I did want to just mention a couple things on the proclamation, if you don't mind. Our Supervised Visitation Awareness Month is where a parent and child relationship can be disrupted through divorce, domestic violence, and other conflicts. The concerns for child safety and well-being. Supervised visitation assures that a child can participate in a visitation with a parent in a safe, focused environment. Monitored exchanges provide safe, neutral locations for co-parents to meet and communicate together concerning their child's needs. Supervised Visitation Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about safe service centers to provide for children and the visiting of their parents. I also offer a safe exchange program. We all, know somebody who's been a victim of divorce or had separation, and those parents are not getting along. So not only do I do CWS's visits, but I also do custodials. And custodials can be very difficult. You have two parents that do not get along.
Yeah.
They come to your agency and they're not friendly, let me tell
Yep.
you. And each one of them want the best for the children. So this is safe exchange program. One parent brings the child, drops them off, signs them in. The other parent comes 15 or 20 minutes later to pick up their child. It has an environment where they're not being dropped off at the sheriff's department or exchanged during the sheriff's department. It's been very successful. It's very gruesome. Let me tell you, we had to really alter those times and those exchanges, but we found that the children thrive through this. That exchange is very important for the children's. We see a lot of generational trauma. We see a lot of trauma within families, and so this just decreases that. So I thank you today very much. I'm excited to be in the Oakhurst area.
Me too.
I'm going to let Deborah introduce her staff.
Okay, so I'll let Sandra introduce hers, but this is Sandra Gonzalez.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Gonzalez. I'm an office assistant supervisor for Madera County. I oversee the supervised visitation unit, and this is my staff. Her name is Gabriela Martinez. She actively does the supervised visitations, and we are busy all day, every day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Go ahead and say something.
My name is Gabriela Martinez. I'm an office assistant too with the CWS.
We're not related.
No, we're not related. It's very true what she said about, we just try to let the parents be parents. If we have to step in, of course, we're going to, but we do try to do our best to make them feel comfortable as well as the children, because it's in our best interest for the children to be happy, to be comfortable with their parents, because our responsibility is to make sure that the children are happy. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any public comment on this? Everybody come down, we'll get a quick picture here. I know, I did trust you. I know we got public hearings coming, but I want to get these done so these people can go back to work. Item 6C.
Presentation of a proclamation naming May 12, 2022 as CASA Volunteers Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's my honor to start out and present the CASA Volunteers Day and Foster Care Month celebration. And thank you, Wilma. Everybody's coming up here. I was going to say, come on up, and you were right there on cue.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
It's
yes,
been 2 long years.
It's extremely exciting, and I just want to introduce this great organization. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and these are we have staff that coordinates advocates, and advocates are unpaid. They're volunteers, and they spend countless hours taking care of and mentoring foster kids through basically life. As we know, foster kids, it's very, very difficult. They can be sent from residence to residence to residence, different families, and and a lot of times the CASA volunteer is the only foundational individual in their lives, unfortunately. And thank God that we've got this great organization. And we have, there were over 20,000 hours of volunteer hours spent last year, which would be in Fresno and Madera counties. You know, the county line doesn't, it's not like a wall or something, so there's very fluid in terms of back and forth and volunteerism and the kids that take part are part of the system. So with that, I'd like to introduce Wilma Hashimoto. Now, she's the executive director. Now, many of you are out there going, wait a minute, I've seen her someplace. She's a celebrity. You're absolutely right. Guess what happened last weekend? Wilma, or Wilmama, was recognized as the Fresno County Women's 2022 Chamber of Commerce Mother of the Year. So let's give it up for Wilma. All right. So there you go. And so it is a great honor having Wilma and staff here today, and just wanted to make sure. I wish there were more people here. I wish we could have been A, so there have been more people here to know who they had here. Next year we'll do that. So okay, because you'll be Mother of the Year next year. But with that, Wilma Hashimoto, Executive Director of CASA.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Poitras, as well as board member of CASA. It's a pleasure to be here, Chairperson Wheeler, supervisors, community members, and I am just so proud of the staff. No, I don't usually carry the tiara nor wear it every day.
Yeah, we bet.
But it's been a very surreal last few weeks, that's for sure. I believe the last time I came up and spoke to you, we had just moved into the first five Madera office, and I had just introduced maybe one and a half staff members. And look at us now. So this is a phenomenal team where we have they'll introduce themselves, but we have a senior supervisor, and we have someone working with the children and their mental health, with the partnership with Deborah Martinez at DSS, who's just absolutely phenomenal. We are able on an annual basis assess all children in the foster care system from 0 to 5. Talk about loving the community in Madera. In just a few short years, we were able to partner with everyone who actually has received a proclamation today. You guys have been busy. Department Health, Mental Health, the school district, the county office of ed, certainly DSS, with Deborah at the helm. It's like, you need to come to this meeting. And they're there. Go to a different meeting. And they're all there again. And so we truly feel after the 4 years, 3 years since I've been up here, it's just been one where we were infused into the community. And it's not just about CASA, it's the work, as you had said, the work that we do in terms of our community advocates. I am so proud to say in the last few years, just last month, Angie and her team were instrumental in creating the first training here in Madera County in person. It made no sense at all why we had it in Fresno when we're in Madera. And then also, too, we did it hybrid because of COVID. And now that are we out of it? Almost out of COVID? That we're doing more things in person. So all along in this last 3 years during COVID, we did shift in terms of serving more youth because, you know, we talked about that earlier, the mental health of our foster youth. 1 out of 3 adults nationwide. We're talking 100% with our kids with foster youth. And not only were they separated sometimes, right, they got in foster care system because they were separated from the parents. Sometimes the resource parents would give the 14-day notice, and then they were again removed from the homes. We dealt with that. And we dealt with them having to lose contact with their peers, with their teachers, and feeling very isolated. So you, as adults, navigated it, and you communicated with whoever you could reach out to. We stepped in that gap, and that's what CASA did. We before said, you know what, we step in at the courts and we represent them, and we advocate for in the courts and in the education system. We did more than that. We advocated for their lives. And time and time again, our advocates, led by this phenomenal staff behind me, I saw it firsthand, and it has not been easy on any of us. And we probably will take advantage of the 988, and I believe it was Supervisor Rogers. So, nerd alert, I was trying to come up with an acronym. We can either do what? Or we can do WOV, like we love you. So I will also keep my day job as not as a comedian, and because that fell like flat.
That was good. Keep
the day job. Yeah.
You had to look at it. Which I had looked at it, and you were spot. Those were the ones I had, but. What and WOV.
Well, everybody just thought it was so brilliant. They didn't think it was a joke.
And that's why I appreciate you. But again, it would not be without the community support and the elected officials to help us in the past 4 years, 2 years being in COVID, to grow exponentially as much as we have. And we are working with County Office of Ed and Madera Unified to get those 75 children on the wait list to serve them. It's definitely the partnerships and friendships like Deborah behind me that has certainly made a difference. Coming up, I know some of you have attended our crab feed. It is scheduled for Friday, September 9th. Just letting you know that historically it has been sold out, and we're expecting to sell out again. And if you also want to win a dream home and help us have our dream of serving more youth, the Granville Home of Hope, we were selected for the third year now to be able to sell tickets for a $600,000 home for just $100. That seems like better than the last Kentucky Derby in terms of ratio for winning, but we are selling tickets, and 100% of the proceeds go to CASA. So I thank you for the time, and I want to be able to give time to my staff to introduce themselves and kind of share the numbers and what they do. So, Angie.
Don't be bashful.
Hi, I'm Angie Martinez. I'm a senior advocate supervisor with CASA. I've been with CASA for about 8 years. When I started with CASA, I had 5 or 6 volunteers in CASA, and we now have about 40. And we serve about 60 children. We have about that many still on our wait list, so we definitely need more volunteers. Quick story. Had a youth that was part of CASA when I first started 8 years ago. He aged out of the foster care system. He's now older than 21, and his advocate was with him the whole time up to that point. He started out at like 15, was in foster care before that, but she came onto his life at age 15. He aged out and then lost touch with him for a couple years, came back because he got into some legal trouble, and when he got out of jail, he was at the CASA office. Wow. So that connection, though she didn't hear from him for 2 years, that's what was important to him. That's all he had, which is, it breaks my heart at the same time that I'm glad he came to see us, but that's why advocates are so important. So thank you, and spread the word about CASA.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carmina Ramos. I am the lead advocate supervisor, and I'm also the outreach specialist from Madera County. I've been with CASA 4 years, almost 4 years. Oh my God. Yeah, almost 4 years. I came kind of right when Wilma was around, and it's just an amazing journey. Just like Angie said, we have so many stories, but one of the things that I'm very proud of to announce is that we're implementing a lot more mental health into CASA and creating awareness of ACEs and how it affects our children. And I had the privilege to do a pilot program for the first time here in Madera County, and it was so successful. Many of our kiddos, the kiddos that attended, they were very, at the beginning, they were not really quite amazed. They thought it was going to be a therapy session, but as soon as they started getting involved, that it was more a class and getting to meet other children their own age and that they have been through, they created a very good bonding. And that's one of the main things about this program, that that's what our kids need. They need to be able to express themselves and not feel judged, and bringing that with other kids that are facing the same thing. It's an amazing relationship that they build. And that's what CASA does. We build relationships and we try to provide that service, that consistent presence for them.
Perfect. Next.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Dulce Redondo. I'm CASA's advocate supervisor. I started with CASA like 3 years ago as a volunteer, as an advocate. And now I started working last year in October as a supervisor. And I have most of the cases here in Madera, and getting new ones as the academy just finished, and looking forward to get more volunteers. I think that CASA is really important just because of the impact that I feel that I've made in my kiddos as a volunteer. And that's one of the things that I really like, that I got to stay as an advocate for them, even though my role changed. So I'm glad to still be part of their lives, and I know how much important CASA is to them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Johnson. I am the Resource Development Coordinator, one of the newer team members. I've only been with CASA for about 2 months. But I came because I feel like the work this organization does is so essential to helping our community, and I get to be inspired every day hearing what our advocate supervisors are doing, how they're coaching their volunteers, how they're putting love into every effort with their kiddos. So my job is to bring the money in the building so we can get more volunteers and more great people like that.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Raquel Garcia. I am the ASQ facilitator for CASA. I have been with CASA for going to 2 years already. I do the ASQs on the children from ages 0 to 5 that are with Madera County. Depending on their resource, on their developmental milestones, if they're not where they're supposed to be, we're out there referring them to services.
Thank
Very
you
good.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Any public comment? Give them a big hand. Rob, you gonna get a thing for them?
Yes, let's all gather in the front, and I have a proclamation. Thank you.
And we have gifts for you as well.
Oh, boy. Candy? It's like a king crown. We got one more proclamation. 6E, Deborah.
Presentation of a proclamation naming May 2022 as Resource Family Appreciation Month.
Good morning. And just because we're last doesn't make us least. So Deborah Martinez again, Director of Social Services. With me, I have staff and a couple of representations for our resource families that I want to talk about. I actually want to bring Olivia and Maria. Olivia? Hi, Olivia. Come on up, both of you. I actually want to read a little bit of the proclamation, absent the whereas, and actually speak to them, okay? So, Resource Family Appreciation Month. Resource families selfishly serve the children and families of Madera County by opening their homes to care for abused and neglected children, regardless of COVID status or testing or awareness. They opened their homes in the last 2 years doing that work. Incredibly important. Maria, for instance, had over 45 children that she has fostered over the last 10 years. Olivia became a resource family in 2020 and has had numerous children placed in her home during this also stressful time. Currently, there are over 337 children and youth in out-of-home care in Madera County. We need more resource families. The number of children that are waiting to be placed and the delays in placement is horrendous. We really need more resource families, particularly those who will care for the teen and preteen population. In order to become a resource family, there's information on the orientation that it's on our DSS webpage. A child's success is best supported in a system that is family-focused, child-centered, and community-based. Resource families provide a meaningful connection to these children and youth, becoming trustworthy and act lasting presence in their life. And especially during this month of May, we express our gratitude, respect for the many resource families throughout Madera County who make a meaningful difference in the lives of the children and youth in foster care. So I want to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce my staff, starting with Cindy Friesen. Cindy is our brand-new program manager with Child Welfare this month. Couldn't be more excited to have Cindy on board. So Cindy, a couple of words.
Me too. Thank you, Deborah. I am really excited to be with Madera County after a lot of work. I'm really impressed with the program that Deborah has overseen and the staff that I've met. Everyone is so friendly. I just want to say about resource parents. I've worked with resource parents since 1997, and we called them foster parents at the time, and their name was changed. But they are amazing people. And, you know, they have the kids in their home 24/7, no matter what. And then sometimes they want a little respite, and we act like, what's the deal? But they are amazing people, and they are a foundation of our work. And I appreciate everything they do. And the other staff, of course, everyone in CPS and Child Family Services works hard, but without the foster families, the resource parents, we wouldn't have our foundation. So,
thank you. And welcome aboard.
Thank you. Okay, and Patricia Cadillo, a supervisor of Child Welfare. Come on in.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's an honor to be here in front of you today. My name is Patricia Caudillo, and I'm the Resource Family Approval Supervisor since this March. I've been with the County of Madera since May of 2012, and previously I worked with Fresno County. So my career has been with Child Welfare for the last 26 years, and I've had the honor and pleasure to work with foster parents, resource families now for the last 26 years. And so it's an honor to be here. I know the hard work that they do, opening the homes to our children. My mother as herself was a foster parent, and I have 3 brothers through adoption. So it's,
wow.
So it's a lot.
That's great.
So sharing about my personal self.
Yeah.
And so it's an honor to be here. And thank you for our families, because they open their homes to our children. And they're there
Very important.
24/7. 365 days of the year. And without them, we would not be able to do the work that we do to protect our children for their safety and well-being. So thank you.
So I think I wanted to leave the last words to our actual resource families themselves. So first of all, Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia Trujillo. Honored to be here today. I became a foster parent was when we first got our first placement. She was only 4 days old when we got her, and she'll be turning 2 this month.
Wow.
And we just celebrated her birthday party this weekend. We'll be actually adopting her hopefully by June or July. I've already adopted one of a teenager. She was 15. We adopted her in December. We'll be adopting our 18-year-old that just maxed out. She was still a dependent of the county. And actually, the May 20th of this month, we'll be adopting her. She came to us and asked us, you know, I know I'm going to be 18 years old already, but I want my adoptive mom and adopted dad. So we went ahead and said yes. We'll be adopting our other one. She is going to be turning 2 also in July. And we got her when she was 4 months old. Wow. So, and we'll continue to open our home up to our children because they're not our foster kids. They come into our home being our kids. You know, we treat them like ours, and there's no way that I would ever turn anybody down. I get the calls when I get the calls, and I'm like, if I don't have the room, it upsets me because I'm like, I'm turning away a child that needs the help.
Tell your
And it
husband to
needs
build
a
another
loving
room,
home.
right?
Yeah, I love it. I just love and I'll keep doing it as long as God has me here.
Good.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Maria? Hi, I'm Maria Saldana, and I'm
Maria?
a foster mom. Maria Saldana.
You want to sell that blouse?
Oh.
I like that. My
husband just bought
fiancé
it for
love
me.
that.
For Mother's Day, I said, oh, I'm going to take it.
Oh, well, I would, I'll tell you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. My first foster son was my grandson. I didn't know what it was to foster, so my friend told me, and she said, you know, I have your foster son and your grandson in my care, and I said, why? I didn't know anything about, you know, drugs and stuff like that, and then she said, well, you know, I have your grandson, and if you want to become a foster parent. I said, how can I get him? And she says, well, if you become a foster parent, you're going to be able to, or go through relative care, and so she's the one that guided me towards that, and I've been doing it almost 15 years.
Wow.
I have a godson too, who was my foster son for 4 years, and then his aunt adopted him. It tore me apart because he was my son, you know.
Yeah.
So all these children that come to my home, they're my kids.
Yeah.
And I protect them with whatever I have to protect them with. I want to thank Behavioral Health. They helped me so much. CASA has helped me so much too. All of us were a group and we're a family and we stick together and we help each other. Nurses from schools, they helped me throughout COVID. They did the testing at their schools and I had 4, and how can I drive them to one appointment or the other appointment? They couldn't get them all at once. The school helped me so much. Teachers, you know, everyone that comes together, we're all a family and we all are here to help our children. The children that come to our home, now they are mine. So the other day I took one of my foster sons to his doctor's appointment. I said, well, I have my son right here. He's like, I'm not your son. I said, you are now, since you've been in my
You are
home.
right.
You're my son. And he's like, but I have my parents. I go, I know, but I'm just taking care of you. I'm your second mom. So he says,
Exactly.
oh, okay. So he calls me mom now. So yeah, I love my job. It's not like a job. It's like they're my kids, you know, and I wish I had a better home so I could bring them in, but I don't. And that's the only thing that saddens me, you know, so, but I'm happy. I'm happy to have become a foster parent, you know, resource family, you know. I wish there was more because there was a lot of calls every day, but I don't have room. But right now, I'm really happy. Hopefully God gives
We
me
can
more
tell you are.
life. Yeah. Thank
All
you
of
so
it.
much. Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you. She's hiding back
Good
there.
morning. She's trying to hide, aren't
I
you?
am Sandy like Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning. And I've only been doing this for 4 years. And I bought my own home and I have a lot of space and a lot of room, but I work at a department store and I stay balanced. I've had a lot of children. I just don't know how many because if it didn't happen 5 minutes ago, I can't remember. But it's true what she says. Had you had more space, you know, I'm thinking of opening like a motel or something and
Yes.
have emergency care and have you guys to back me with that.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding. But actually, we are better together. And when we embrace these kids, when the emergency call comes in and, you embrace them, you know, whether it's blowing their nose, tying their shoe, or giving them a hug, we are making a difference in their lives. And sometimes it's frustrating, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's frustrating because they come with baggage and you don't know what they've been through, but you just gotta be there to understand it. And I'm glad, this is my first time here at the board meeting, but I'm gonna start looking in the papers to find out when the next one comes in, because this was very interesting. And I didn't know I was gonna
Great
know
day.
so many people here, but everyone, CASA, everyone, they've been really awesome, and it's good to meet people, so I need to get out more often, but unfortunately, I have.
Foster kids to take
Since
care of.
May, I have 25 grandchildren of my own. So,
Wow.
so these kids that I embrace, they blend in. So when I'm not working or I'm not cooking with kids biting my legs and holding on to my legs, I'm coaching soccer because I've been doing that for several years. I'm a volunteer in the community for the soccer league because I
Wow.
like it. But there's so many kids, and it, you know how the best reward you can get is when you see this child, coach, and they
Or
hug you,
mom.
or you see the little 3-month-old that is now 13 months old, mommy. And I'm ready to give them back. I take them as if they were my grandkids because I know that our goal is to reunify the family. So I do, but we are making a difference every day. And I do miss that.
That is so heart-wrenching, I tell you. Thank you, guys. Okay, we got a proclamation for you, so we'll get your picture here.
And Maria, you're gonna have to be right in the middle.
Oh, my goodness. I tell my husband he has hungry. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Oh.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take 5 minutes and go out and look at our brand-new armored car outside. So, is it out there? Oh, it's not?
No, we pulled item P.
Oh, that's when they pulled. Oh, well, shoot.
Nice.
I had it on my agenda.
That's a nice little tool.
Okay, let's do the public hearings, 7A.
Hearing to consider adoption of a resolution approving the estimated expenditures and make a determination to levy and collect a special assessment for road maintenance purposes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Phil Toller with your Public Works Department. This one might be familiar to everybody. For your consideration is the continuation of the annual $100 assessment set for Pines Track at Bass Lake. This district was formed in 1989 with the help of the Bass Lake Homeowners Association to create a funding mechanism to cover road maintenance for their roads and easements and accesses to the lake. We just met with the Homeowners Association in February, where they gave us their priority list for the season. They recommended approval of this action and asked that we continue this $100 assessment. and I'm available for any questions.
Have you got a project ready to go now? They've got quite a bit built up now, right?
Yeah, they've had quite a bit built up over the last 5 years because of all the contract work out there. They've asked us, we've already started with their marching orders for this season, mainly brushing, additional signage and stuff like that around the lake. They've asked us to hold off on some of the road work until September, as late as we can in the season, to create the least amount of impact to their homes and residences.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What kind of projects can be done with this? And I'd like to see, like, it coming back, to be able to show what can be done when doing something like this in other areas. Just showing that if you do this, there's going to be actual change and fixing things.
Yes, we could do basically anything related to what the formation of the district will allow. Bass Lake is unique, and it has walkways down sides of mountains that go out to boat docks and stuff like that. They have typical roads, well, atypical roads.
Yeah.
It's hard to fit our pickups in there with snowplows on them. They're very unique, but it will take care of patching, culverts and flood control, signage, overlays, any type of road maintenance activities we need to do in there. What we can do is take pictures before and after and bring them back to this board with not just Bass Lake, but with all of our districts.
I think it'd be good just show, there's some areas that
Don't realize they
don't
can do
know that if there's extra put in, that you can have a list of projects that can be delivered with a time frame and fix the roads, and then it's much cheaper to maintain them. It won't go for forever. But I just think it's important to show some positives that can happen with this.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. This is a result of me meeting with their homeowners association in February, where they, gave me their list of priorities for our paving season. And
We talk
typically
about local
that,
control, right? That's real local control.
Sure.
Like down to where it matters.
Sure. And that season, is pretty good for everything else. Up there, it's a little bit different because of the resort type atmosphere and the rentals. So we work with them the best we can, and we've already, like I said, we've already got a good head start on this. We're waiting for some of the asphalt repairs till the end of September to have the least amount of impact up there.
The other day, I was in Norfolk, I seen the masquerader, what do you call that thing on that tractor doing 222. Are you going to keep going that now for a while?
Yes, District 5, that's all they're doing right now is clearing and grubbing.
Oh, okay. Good. Any other questions from the board? This is a public meeting, so anybody from the public got anything to say? Any from the line? Online? None? I'm going to close the public hearing then, bring it back to the board. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
First and second, roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Bill. Item 7B.
7B, mitigated negative declaration and rezone as listed on the agenda.
This is Jamie.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Jamie Bax with Community and Economic Development, and I have with me Annette Kephart, planner. So before you is a general plan amendment and a rezone. As you are aware, general plan amendments can only be heard 4 times per year, or actually the general plan can only be amended 4 times per year. So this is the first of 4. So this is just an aerial showing the location of the property. Again, it was under a project 2021-004, general plan amendment 2021-005, and rezone 2021-005. As mentioned, the parcels are located in the Chowchilla area, west of Road 14, between Avenue 24 and Avenue 23.5. Again, a general plan amendment from a portion from agricultural designation to very low density residential designation, and a rezone from agricultural rural exclusive 40 acre to RRS, residential rural single family district. There is also a portion of a rezone from a residential 10 acre district to also the rural residential single-family district for a portion of, there are 2 parcels involved. We did prepare a mitigated negative declaration, that's number 2021-22 for your consideration. As part of that initial study, specific areas of concern were aesthetics, and we provide mitigation measures for those. As you can see, the area is planned agricultural. You do have some community commercial directly to the east along Robertson Boulevard and some very low-density residential. And the zoning map also shows that you have some rural residential and commercial designations to the east as well. The zoning and the general plan proposed designations are consistent with one another. And this was a site plan that was supplied by the applicant showing which portions of the property are proposed to be changed, amended, and rezoned. So just to kind of go over the map on that previous slide, the proposed project area 1 is 6.25 acres. There's a residence on that parcel and a small pasture. There is an individual well on that property, and the general plan amendment would be to the very low density residential designation. On property 2, it's 2.25 acres of a portion of that parcel. It's proposed to be rezoned to the rural residential single family district. There's a potential for a maximum of an additional 3 possible residences to the current 4 existing properties if this proposal were to be approved. If they wanted to split the property, that would require additional entitlements and environmental review process. The Planning Commission did hold a hearing on this item and did vote 5-0 in favor, recommending approval of the application. And with that, staff supports that recommendation, and we're available for any questions.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, any public comment on this item? I'm going to close the public comment, public hearing, and bring it back to the board.
I move to approve this item on the, do we take all of them at once, or we get a, okay?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Supervisor. I would also add for the second reading of the ordinance that any motion include the waiving of the reading of the title and the entire ordinance. That's required for ordinances, and we might have failed to put that on 1, 2, 3, but it can all be as one.
Okay, so I will move to approve and waive the reading, waive the reading, first and second reading. And the second reading of the ordinance and adopt.
Second.
Any other comment? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Whaler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay, let's do 6I. Military Equipment Policy Ordinance.
Introduction of an ordinance to add section 2.31.040 to chapter 2.31 of Title II of the Madera County Code pertaining to the Sheriff's Office acquisition and use of military equipment as defined in Assembly Bill 481. Waive the first reading and set the second reading for May 17, 2022. Discussion and consideration of approval of Madera County Sheriff's Office military equipment policy, which fulfills the requirements established by AB 481.
Good morning. Hit the thing right in the middle.
Good morning. Bill Ward, I'm a commander with the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff is requesting your board consider the adoption of an ordinance pertaining to military equipment and approve the Madera County Sheriff's Office military equipment policy, which includes the use of specified equipment covered in the policy and AB Assembly Bill 481 for equipment that is currently under control of the Sheriff's Office. The Assembly Bill 481 created Government Code 7070 that designated 15 different categories of items that are designated as military equipment. AB 41 through Government Code Section 7070 through 7075 requires the Sheriff's Office to obtain approval from the Board of Supervisors of its military equipment policy by ordinance in order to continue the use of this equipment that has been previously acquired. The Madera County Sheriff's Office is currently in possession of items in 8 categories out of the 15. The sheriff is introducing an ordinance to add section 2.31.040 to chapter 2.31 of Title II of the Madera County Code pertaining to the sheriff's office acquisition and use of military equipment as defined in AB 481.
That definition is pretty broad as I read it, right? Like this isn't like Black Hawk helicopters and.
If we need one.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It is not, is it? It is extremely broad, and the things, the items that they define as military equipment are things that are commonly available, even to the general public in many cases.
Right.
UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, are commonly called drones. You can buy those, Amazon commercially. It's a lot of less than lethal equipment, beanbag rounds, chemical agents, tear gas, things like that. All these command posts, our communications trailer, these are all defined as military equipment under AB 481.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to point that out, that this isn't like we're stocking up for World War III here, and it is very, very broad. I think our drones are literally the 4-prop ones. These aren't those ones that are doing airstrikes,
Not at all. No, the ones we have, you can buy at Best Buy or Amazon.
So I wanted that to be clear.
County Council.
Thank you, Chair. That was from the previous item. I
Oh,
needed to
screwed up,
cancel.
huh?
Yep.
Okay. Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, I want to make just a statement concerning AB 481. This kind of legislation really concerns me just because an item which commonly is available to the public ends up in the hands of law enforcement, suddenly it becomes a concern. I really have a problem with that kind of legislation, and I have a problem with the continual pressure put on law enforcement as a result of obtaining equipment which really saves lives and helps them do their job better. So I push back against this kind of legislation verbally because of that. And I support our law enforcement 1,000% in everything they do. They put their lives on the line for us every day. They deserve the best possible equipment. And my mind goes back to that LA bank robbery, when those men were dressed in full body armor, had automatic weapons, and they were mowing down police officers because they weren't allowed to have the same equipment that the criminals were. That just infuriates me. And this kind of legislation does the same thing to my mind. Thank you.
Any other comments? Any public comment? What's your pleasure?
I move to waive the first reading and set the second reading for May 17th, 2022, and introduce.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Chair, part of your motion was also to approve the policy on B?
No, on 2.
On 2?
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, guys, so much. Thank you, Sheriff. 6F.
6F, hearing to consider adoption of a resolution approving the property tax administration cost and fees for fiscal year 2021 and 2022.
Joe, you taking this, or?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I guess nobody's from the auditor's office. So every year, the auditor's office has to approve the charges for administering the property tax program.
Right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any public comment? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Good job, Joe.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
6G.
Introduction of an ordinance to enact sections 11.04, 2.45 through 11.04, 2.48 of the Madera County Code pertaining to building addresses. Waive the first hearing and set the second hearing for May 17th, 2022.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Again, Jamie Bax, Community and Economic Development. This was brought to our attention recently, and it's not important just for the building inspectors when they go out to do their inspections to be able to locate the addresses properly. It's for emergency services, most importantly. So this is a request to amend the code to add those requirements for address uniformity across the county.
I agree. Any public comment on this? Any comments from the board?
Move to waive the first reading, set the second reading for May 17th, 2022, and introduce.
Second.
Second.
Second twice.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes
Good job,
5-0.
Jim.
Hey, Jim, you did a great job. We love it.
Already done.
Just for the record, we did read the item.
See how
We
good-
understood
see how
the
good you
item.
are? You did that subliminally.
You're good, buddy. 6H.
Introduction of an ordinance relating to various staff committees, amending section 17.72.030, 17.72.040, 17.72.050, 16.06.010, 16.06, 020, 16.06, 030, 16.06, 040, and 16.06, 050, and repealing section 1712.010 of the Madera County Code. Waive the first reading and set the second reading for May 17, 2022.
You started down the path and forgot to just say as listed on the agenda, huh?
You missed one. Do them one more time.
I move to approve to waive the first reading and set the second hearing for May 17th.
I'll second.
Any public comment? Seeing none. Roll call.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
Okay, back now to item 8A.
I'll take this
No, I can-
one. Oh,
I got it.
I won't read it, but.
Just once, you don't want to.
8A.
Discussion and consideration to authorize the chairman to sign a letter of support. The application by the Madera California Department of Transportation and San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority to the United States Department of Transportation 2022 Multimodal Projects Discretionary Grant, competitive grant programs for the Madera High-Speed Rail Station Project.
Brett.
Yeah, so we're lucky to get into this. If this is, even if, regardless of what you think of the high-speed rail throughout the entire state, it is going to be operating through the Central Valley.
And through Madera.
Yeah, we need a station there, as you saw in the Fresno Bee article. But we've already got the $25 million to relocate the station. This would bring an additional $90 million to construct the rest of it, and no cost to local taxpayers. So it was very important that we got into this mega grant with Caltrans as the sponsor of it, which will help it getting passed, and would greatly appreciate the support.
Yeah. Thank you for always advocating for us, and thank the god of high-speed rail, Max Rodriguez, if he's listening at home. And, you know, when this first came out, I was totally against it. But then I talked to my team up there, about 12 people, and they said, Tom, it's coming through. Get what you can from it. Get every penny, everything we can to benefit our citizens. And that's when I changed my vote back then. So, any public comment? And none? Board members? None? Motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Oh.
Letty seconded. Beat you, buddy. Oh, women always come first, whether it's a tie or not.
Not an issue.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
8B.
8B, discussion and consideration to authorize the chairman to sign a letter to support application by the San Joaquin Regional Rail Commission to the United States Department of Transportation 2022 Multimodal Projects Discretionary Grant.
This also, do you want to take it, Joel? Or? This is also coming kind of out of the same vein. These will greatly increase the ability through the double tracks to be able to keep on-time performance and people safety all on the tracks. Be very important to support it.
And you're on that committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm the alternate. Okay, any comments from the board? Any public comment? Seeing none, what's your pleasure? Brett?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second by Dave. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Wheeler?
Yes.
The vote passes 5-0.
Okay.
See, the Central Valley does some multimodal stuff too, huh, Rob?
Just tons of it. That's all we do.
Yeah. Okay, supervisors and staff reports. Mr. Dave.
Nothing to report, sir.
Mr. Brett.
My coffee and conversation was moved from the 18th to the 25th due to the CTC will be coming actually to tour that facility on the 18th. They're taking buses on 99 instead of trains, but it'll be good for them to come and see
Difference.
what's going on here and see what the impact can be. So that'll be on the 18th, and then there's also that CTC meeting that night or reception. Go tell them what you want for the valley.
Good job. I had a town hall last Thursday night, and I wasn't feeling well, so my chief of staff, Bobby McCauley, ran it, and did a heck of a job. We didn't have quite as many people. It was on public safety. Had some great speakers. My next one's in June sometime. I don't have the date in front of me. So on Saturday night, I was invited to the Minarets High School luau night. This is the third one. They had started out with two to raise money. The two of them, they raised over $100,000 for their stadium that they don't have at the football stadium. And it was a great turnout, and it was outdoors, so I went to it, but I still wore my mask. And it was a great event, and I wanted to thank Daniel Ching. He puts this on. He was born and raised in Hawaii and grew up in North Fork, and he's the principal there, and he's moving on to the principal of Spring Valley next year. So, and he's a doctorate too. So we do have smart people in North Fork. Yes, you do. Miss Letty.
Thank you. It's been a while since we've met, so I have attended lots of meetings and community events, including First Five, FM AAA, going to CAPMC this week. Obviously, the Mental Health Awareness Conference. And
cool.
Yeah, and but also attended the CSAC Legislative Conference, participated in a lot of the meetings, including the Board of Directors meeting. And then I received my credential that I completed a while ago, but finally got the certificate. I also completed my NACO leadership cohort class, and then next week I'll be finishing my water class that I've been taking with the Latino education, water education for Latino leaders. So it's been busy 2 years. But really excited to made some great connections with lots of people throughout the state, around the county, within the county. So it's been great. And then also attended the National Day of Prayer. Sat with our friend Monty Pistoresi at his table with some great people, including the sheriff and the district attorney. So it's been good. It's been really busy. So thank you.
You're doing a great job of representing District 4 and Madera County. And you could tell those ladies Really appreciated you being there and talking. That's so important.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Robb.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, just two things. Thursday and Friday, the Fresno COG is hosting the annual Regional Policy Council meetings in Clovis at Veterans Hall. And so that'll take place all day on Thursday and part of the day on Friday. I'll be taking part in one of the panel discussions.
Good.
In regards to SR 99 and also welcoming everybody that morning. And yesterday, Nick Salinas and I had a chance to talk to the executive director of the Merced Children's Museum. I had been up there about 4 months ago, and we were really impressed. And so we talked to the executive director about how she was able to get things going. And so I'd love to bring that same type of a museum to Madera.
Great.
So if anybody's had a chance to visit that museum, it's been open for about 3 years now. And it's, you know, the director, she has a lot of visions for it, but it would be, it's definitely a community effort. It's not a one agency puts it together. It's a lot of private public partnerships, but I think it would be a real bonus to our county. So
Great. See, your CAO assistant, no, second command.
Deputy
what
CEO,
is
E
Mr.
it?
Chairman, nothing to report.
Okay. County Council.
Yes, Chair, just a quick thank you to the clerk of the board, Brown Act tidbit. Usually she can say as listed on the agenda, but for ordinances, if you read the title, you can waive the reading of the entire ordinance, which I know would be very time consuming unless a request by a supervisor to read the entire thing. And so with ordinances is a little bit different than other items. Some resolutions, but they're very minor in terms of which ones you have to just read the title. And so
Good to know.
thank you for
Still
getting
learning.
through that.
Yeah, still learning.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm tired from reading. Nothing else to report.
Tasha. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. It's a great meeting. We'll see you on the 17th at 9 o'clock, and we're going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody. Very, very, very much.